Welcome to Hot Flash Chronicles, where midlife is messy, menopause is madness, and we're sweating through it together.
We're Angie and Shelly, two caffeine-fueled, slightly inappropriate grandmas who say what everyone's thinking.
So grab a drink, crank up the AC, and let's dive in.
Shelly.
Angie.
Guess what?
Oh, what?
It is time for another episode of Hot Flash Chronicles.
So excited.
What? And we are going to be discussing on today's episode.
The opposite.
Okay, so here's the deal. We don't edit stuff, so you're going to hear that.
Yep.
We might beep it at
We're
some
perfectly
point.
imperfect.
Perfectly imperfect.
Yep.
We are going to talk about the December to May. What did you call it?
May-December.
May-December dating. So the gist, I've never heard the May-December thing. The gist is, so sometimes you have like a cougar and a cub, and I don't know what the reverse is of that, like a older dude, younger chick. The difference is
Probably daddy or something gross like that.
yeah, which we're not yucking, they're young.
We're not
If
yucking.
the older guy wants to date a young girl and fine, she's happy with it, and vice versa, it's all good. Shelly has had her Cougar Town minute before Phil.
I did.
BP before Phil.
And my first husband was 13 years older, so I had that dynamic. Yeah.
So there are differences in society,
Mm-hmm.
whether you are a cougar or a...
I really want to find out if it's a thing, but we'll figure it out.
Sure, it's a thing. I just don't know what it's called. So what are the social...
Their baby or something.
Sugar daddy, that's probably it.
Sugar daddy.
Cougar Town.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we're going to talk about the differences in society with
Yeah.
age differences in
Love it.
relationships. So, and this came at a request from Martha, who is my co-grandma,
Oh,
son's grandkid.
perfect.
She's AJ's mom.
Great.
And she said she's been enjoying the podcast. And she was like, this would be a really cool topic. And I was like, challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Shelly, I had a dream of being a cougar. I had plans.
Yeah.
And then I met Jeff, which was like the best thing ever. But it did kind of kill my cougar chances, which is fine.
Cougar dreams.
Now I have to live with a boy, but it's fine because I love that boy.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to have my Cougar Town.
Aw.
But
We have Cougar Town for everybody.
yeah, Shelly did Cougar Town. She had different cubs for different times of the week, perhaps, and that's fine. I mean, not to like,
Oh, goodness.
no, I mean not like that. It wasn't like she never rotated the door or something. But you were very, very comfortable in just
And I wasn't
doing
in
and
the
seeing
beginning.
anything you wanted.
I wasn't in the beginning, so that's a good, like, what do you call it? Your origin story.
So that's interesting that you weren't comfortable with it, because I'd like to dig into the psychology of why you were not comfortable with it, because I think that leans into what Martha was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just go back to a kinder, gentler time a few decades ago when I was getting married for the first time. And I was 19 when I met my future husband, and he was 31, I think, at the time we started.
Yeah,
dating.
Kyle's father was 8.5 years older than me. So I was 19 and he was 28.
So interestingly enough, at that time in my life, I really liked older men when I was 19. And I think it's because they were more mature and they had some life experience and they talked about things that I thought were interesting because I was smart and I didn't just want to talk about somebody's car
Right.
or whatever movie was.
You wanted some meat and veg. You didn't want
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I tended to like older men, and this person that I was interested in was actually Hungarian, and they were very, very smart with history and historical things, and they liked talking about that kind of stuff, and those were things that I liked. So for that phase of my life, I was very much about, I wanted somebody knowledgeable and somebody interesting who could have conversations, who wasn't just about, getting some time. And that's not right in front of
That's going to
horses.
translate really well.
Do some kind of riding, but not riding horses.
Yeah.
But, somebody was just in for that. I'll do the noise and the gesture that Angie hates. Not somebody just there for the nookie. We'll call it that. So I was looking for something with some nookie and some cookie on the side, a little substance.
Yeah.
So if you fast forward to I'm in my mid-40s and I'm getting divorced for the time, whatever amount of time
That was not a sound effect. That was actually Shelly making this. Yeah.
that noise. It was me at a different phase in my life, and I was looking just to date and have fun. I wasn't looking for a potential partner. I wasn't looking for anything, and maybe I was looking for more nookie, less cookie at that point. Maybe I just wanted to have some fun.
Can you define what you mean by cookie?
Just everything else, all the things.
Because I would call the nookie the cookie as well.
You would just call it all cookie nookie. I guess nookie and substance, let's say a balance. And maybe I was just more for a brief moment in time, one brief shining moment where I wanted to be just like, let's just have fun and not worry about what it's going to turn into.
Right.
It wasn't even just that I wanted to get laid or that I wanted sex. It was, I just want to not have the pressure of a serious relationship. I just want to enjoy somebody's company and have a good time. So what I was finding as I was out on all the dating apps, which, by the way, we have an episode for.
Yeah.
You can listen to that one. But while I was out on these dating apps, what I was finding is a lot of men my age were also wanting to just have fun and relax, but they were embroiled in their own dramas in life. Like maybe they were going through a divorce, or maybe they had adult children who were not handling things well, or they were just in a career sitch where they couldn't just relax and have fun. And what I started noticing is the carefree people who kind of were in the same place I was in, not wanting to settle down, not wanting to be in something invested in serious, just happened to be younger.
Right.
They were just at a different place in their lives where they were more like in their, at that point, I'd say when I was in my mid-40s, they were like late 20s, early 30s was kind of the range where I started saying, oh, these guys, they don't have mortgages yet. They're getting established in their careers. A lot of them didn't bring divorced baggage. They hadn't had that kind of relationship crash and burn yet, which creates the baggage that, you know, I was having as a 45-year-old woman. And I kind of wanted, I had all the luggage, all the carry-ons, a steamer trunk, and full luggage. I wanted someone who only had one small carry-on that they could tuck under their seat. That's what I was looking for. And
yeah.
A lot of guys my age also had the steamer trunks and too much, where you're going to have to pay the extra $50 per bag.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a lot.
There's a lot to unpack there.
So much.
So I know that when you first started cougaring, because I think that the rule is you need to be 45 to be a cougar, right?
I don't know.
I think that's the thing.
If you know those rules, let us know.
Yeah. When you were starting to cougar, you had some insecurities around, are these young hot guys going to find me attractive? Are they going to want to be seen in public with me? Like, there was a lot of, I would venture to guess, and I'm not trying to like tell your story, but I feel like you had some insecurities around how that would be perceived and how these cubs would perceive you. Yeah. Whereas the reality was, and these were not mediocre looking young gentlemen. Shelly, her roster, oh my God, she had some.
Be on my team, be on the roster.
She had some hot cubs on the roster that had zero issues being seen in public with her, had zero issues with any of her perceived flaws. They were all about everything Shelly, and I think that there was some mental hiking that had to happen to get you to actually believe that they were actually on board for you. And I remember watching you go through this and thinking, well, yeah, they're seeing what I see. Like, you are the whole package, like front to back. You are the whole package. You tick every box for, I would guess, most people. And
are you out there, most people? Are you ticking off? Am I ticking off your list? So,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm divulging too much of your story, but as your best friend watching you go through this, it was like, it's interesting that she doesn't see what those guys are seeing, because I see it.
I think that's really interesting because what you've just described is, I think, every woman on this planet. I think we all have the hardest time when we put like the magnifying glass back on ourselves. Like, I think we often do not really recognize all of those boxes that we tick off. It's like we can see it in our friends, we can see it in other people, but when you do the self-examination, we all bring up our list of the things we know we're not good at, the things that are our flaws, maybe our physical flaws, our emotional flaws, our intelligence, whatever. But what I found out, and why I think for some women, cougaring or being a cougar can be such a transformative experience for you in such a good way, is that you really learn to own yourself and who you are. And what I found, and the insecurities that I had, are the common ones that we all have. I'm too old. I'm boring. I've just been a mom. Well, I just work. I just have a 40-hour. I don't go to clubs. I don't know how to party. I don't know what's in right now. It was all of those things, just questioning, how am I going to find common ground with this person? Do I have common ground with this person? And most importantly, do I need to have common ground with this person? So what I discovered during this time after dating, and I didn't just date younger guys, I would date some older guys too. I decided that because I was never going to get married again, and I probably wasn't going to be in anything really, really serious for a long, long time, I just said, whoever's interesting, they are on the plate. If they're interesting, I'm going to consider them. If I just think we can go out and have a fun date, I don't care if they're 27, I don't care if they're 77. If I think we can have a fun date, I'm going to say yes. But I'm not going to exclude anybody just because of their age.
Right.
So when I did that, that broadened the amount of, when I took that, because you can put on these dating apps, you can have a filter that says what ages you're willing to consider. So I started considering people who were not within 10 years older or younger, which is how I'd originally started.
Right.
So I started getting massive amounts from younger men and very few to just a regular amount from people my age and older. So I was like,
interesting.
Yeah. And I was like, I wonder why. I wonder why these younger guys. Well, so I started asking him, like, well, what did you like about my profile? What was it you liked? And almost every single time was, you sounded confident.
Well, you are confident.
Yeah. And
We all have like our inner voice that's like a bullshitter that tells us all the things that are wrong. But like, if we're grading on a curve, I would say that you are a confident person, as you should be.
And the things that I was confident about in my profile were like, I was just I have a really great sense of humor. Here's the things I like to talk about. Here's the things I like to do. I just put everything out there that was very authentic. I didn't bullshit. I didn't try to act like I was something I wasn't. And I think for younger men, sometimes that's really appealing to them, because a lot of women in their age range, when they're in their mid to later 20s, early 30s, a lot of women are still finding their voice. They're
a little clingier, a little needier, a little more like, why didn't you text me? Like,
yeah, and they're a little more, their self-confidence is on they're building it.
They haven't found their value yet a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to generalize.
And they need a lot of validation.
Right.
They need to know that they look good all the time. They need lots of texting. They need, hey, babe, you look awesome. And there's nothing wrong with that, because there is a point in your life where you figure out how to do all that stuff for yourself. You don't need that amount of that outer validation, and you become a different person. It's everybody's journey. And some of us get that early on, and some of us it takes longer. But by the time I was writing these at age 45, I actually did know who I was and what I wanted. And so with these guys, I thought what they were wanting, what they were looking for, was hotness or just physical traits. And they're not. Some of them are. Some women are looking just for physical traits. But some of them wanted that, and they wanted to take a ride on the experience train. They wanted that's what it was, is they wanted
You're not
to
wrong.
know what it was like to be with an older woman who had
I knew all the
life experience and sexual experience and the confidence, and just to see what it was like to be with someone who wasn't going to need the validation every step of the way.
right.
And by the way, I am not discounting any younger women.
No,
Younger women all have their high points, and a lot of younger women nowadays are extremely confident. So kudos to you if you're 21.
right. I think the thing we would encourage is find your value faster. Like if you can get there faster to not have to
Get there.
rely on somebody else's opinion of you to find your own self-worth and self-value, I think the faster you can get there.
And the thing
Serve
that
you.
most men and other women and as humans in general find very sexy is you being confident.
100%.
It's what I like in other people.
Yeah.
It is. I admire
In any form of relationship.
It is
Like it's fun to be around people that are confident.
to men and women in the sense that I want to hear what they have to say. I want to know what their story is, and I want to know what can I learn from this person? And so confidence is like king, queen, whatever you want to call it. And that's what those younger guys were
Right.
doing, was a woman who wasn't afraid and who was unapologetic about just being herself.
So when I met Jeff, I was seeing 3 different guys, and they all knew about each other. I wasn't secretive about it. I was like, I'm not tying myself down. Like, and what I found, so the reason I said I wanted to be a cougar and that dream was broken is I was never old enough to qualify as a cougar, because I think I was 38-ish when I met Jeff. But what I found was that the guys that I was dating found it refreshing that I didn't put a lot of parameters on them. I didn't have a lot of expectations. It was just like, yeah, sure, we'll hang out. Like, we can do dinner if you want, but
It's okay.
like, that's okay. We don't you're serving whatever purpose, whether it's company or physical or whatever.
Mhm.
And I had multiple people say that they loved my confidence. They loved that I was not, like locking them down, like asking a lot of questions. It was like, I'm not, like, it's not that deep, man. I'm not, and I was also like Shelly, never getting married again. Absolutely not. I told Jeff on our first date, if you're looking for a wife, I'm not your girl.
Mhm.
But I met some interesting people. I went on a date like with a stand-up comedian.
Mhm.
He was interesting. I expected to laugh a lot more.
Those people are usually very dark when you're not.
It was pretty dark. He is pretty traumatized. So just the lack of fussiness, I think, is what I got a lot of feedback that I wasn't a fussy person. And then when I met Jeff, I was like, oh, okay, I'm changing my rule.
Yeah.
Like, I'm changing my rule because he was worth it. He was worth the letting that guard down and trusting that I could be, in a loving long-term relationship again.
Yeah.
So, and I did date younger guys at that point, but I didn't qualify as a cougar because I wasn't 45. So I also found that I was worried that they would have expectations, or maybe like I did find a couple people where they had really young kids, and I was like, ooh, okay, I am not in this bucket anymore. Like,
Yeah.
this is going to be,
Jam.
this is a lot. So, but it's nice that we can set those in ourselves. And I was worried. Like at one point I went to like one of those teppanyaki restaurants.
So yeah.
And the chef thought that my date was my son. And I was like, I don't know quite how to process this. He was only like 7 years younger than me, but
Yeah.
apparently he looked a lot younger. So worrying about how society views it, I definitely had some of that.
Yeah.
And I have dated older people as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting to me is there's an assumption that if you're with somebody of a different age, like if it's a younger woman and an older man, there's a perception that she wants his money and he wants her body.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Like, what are they in it for?
And I think everybody really accepts that that's what it is.
Yeah,
it's
but that's not
accepted
true.
No, and it's not necessarily true at all, but we've attached that kind of value to that relationship as he's a sugar daddy and he wants a trophy wife.
Yeah, he wants arm candy and she wants a paycheck. So it's sad that that's how people view it, because I'm sure a lot of those relationships are that way, but it's not necessarily.
And it's not wrong if you both sign on for that and that's what each one of you want. That's fine. That's mutual. That's consensual. If you want to have that, we don't judge anybody's reasons. But I think when society looks at that combination, older man, younger woman, it's not that weird. Like, we've seen that since the beginning of time. Like, that's been a long accepted. Sometimes we might behind the backs.
It's a little more.
Man, or
You don't want to use this word.
Grabbing or grasping.
What's like the nicer way to say pathetic? Like, it's a little more like, oh, like it's not real, I think is the perception.
They don't think it's a real valid relationship.
But if it's an older woman and a younger man, then what are the assumptions that are made?
I think it's Stella getting her groove back kind of thing. It's did you ever see that movie? Do you remember what that was called? No, Stella got her groove back, and it's very much, it's a real story, and it became a movie with, I think, Angela Bassett's in it. But I think she's divorced, and she ends up with a much younger man. It ends up becoming a serious relationship, but she started it with just like, she'd been married for a long time. She wanted to get back out there and just get back on the scene, and she was just going to do this for fun and then launch back into the world of dating. But she ended up falling for this person. So I think sometimes people think it's a mojo boost for the woman, or she's maybe just getting back out there and she's trying
to prove something to herself.
Viable and young, sexy, and that younger men will like her and all this stuff, which, again,
I mean, I've done that.
Nothing wrong with that.
I have done that, where it's like, I'm going to go seek validation in the company of men because I feel like my self-esteem took a huge hit in this relationship, and like, I don't apologize for that.
Yeah,
I mean, it is the moment, and they knew that that's what they were there for.
Right.
I didn't mince words. I didn't pretend like I was offering anything I wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, one of the guys that I was quote unquote seeing when I met Jeff, I was like, yeah, I gotta put a stop to this, because I found a guy and he was like, I thought you didn't want a relationship. And I was like, ooh, how do I say this? I didn't want it. And he's like, what? And he goes, I thought you didn't want he wanted to like take me away for weekends. And I was like, I don't need to meet your mom, man. Like, I'm not in that zone. No, I think it's zone right now. So, and that's okay. I don't need to know your middle name. It's fine.
I don't need to know. What's your first name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
First name.
Maybe the first name, but
yeah,
I'll ask.
But he was kind of pissed. Like, I thought you didn't want a boyfriend. And I was like, well, I thought I didn't as well. But here we are. So that was an interesting thing to have to say to somebody. It's not me, it's you. Like, oof, that's awkward. But
doesn't mean they weren't a lovely person. They just weren't.
No, he wasn't the person. He was somebody that was like
stopgap.
It was, I needed that validation.
Yeah,
from
was giving you
somebody, and he gave me that. So, whereas Jeff fulfills all of he ticks every single box, and that guy ticked a few at best, and that's fine. He was a season. Or a reason. He was a reason. He wasn't even a season.
Yeah.
But I think that the way that it is viewed when we're dating, if you're on a dating app and you're a woman, and let's say you're in your 50s and you say that you would go 30 to 70, like, I feel like there's a different perception of that you must be needing some sort of validation.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if a guy does that, he must have a lot of money if he thinks he can get a 25-year-old. Like, it's just interesting how it's viewed differently, and I wish it wasn't that way. Like, can't we all just do what we want to do?
It's a double standard for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I would say to anybody out there whether you're a woman or a man watching this, if you're in your 50s or 60s and you're opening up your dating possibilities and saying, I'll date from 30 to 70.
Yes.
And you're putting that range out there. Don't apologize for why you're doing that. Don't explain why you're doing it. You don't owe anybody an apology or an explanation. And you have your reasons why you want to do this. And people who are over the age of 18 are legally adults. So if you're saying 30, somebody who's 30 is a full-grown, they have had life events adults.
They can make the decision
And
if they want to
honestly,
date a 60-year-old.
Some of the guys I dated when I was 45 who were 30 to 35 were pretty much in the same kind of boat that I was. Some of them had been married. Some of them had already had a divorce. Some of them had small children. They were going through that. So it's not that I don't. Here's the thing is after you're 30, you are a full-blown adult with life experiences, and your levels of maturity at that point on have nothing to do with your age anymore.
Right.
There are 60-year-old men who are completely immature. There's 60-year-old women who act like teenagers. That number stops being attached to equaling maturity.
So what I would say is if you're in a relationship or seeking a relationship, it doesn't matter what other people think if you're happy. As long as it's legal, then whoever you are attracted to or want to spend time with, do you see if it works. If it doesn't work, that's fine too. But if there are people in your life that have strong opinions about it, if it lasts longer, get over it.
Yeah.
They will get over it. So I know people in my life who have married people that are, more than a decade gap, and their families freaked out at first. And then now that it's like their favorite person.
My husband, my current husband, my last husband, my final husband is the last one. The Last of Us. Isn't that a show? Yeah. So Phil is 15 years younger than me. I ended up marrying somebody 15 years younger. And his parents, he had never been married before. He doesn't have kids. And he had had a couple serious relationships, but nothing that had gone to, getting married.
Right.
And here I am. I've been married and divorced a few times.
Okay.
And I'm 15 years older.
I think on less than 10.
They were, yes, exactly. And they were a little concerned. But I told him when I meet them in person, they're going to like me because I'm very likable and they're going to get to know me, and it's really not going to be a thing. And that's absolutely what happened. And because of our relationship and all of the growth that Phil has had as a person, Phil is on the spectrum and he's autistic and he has some mental health things that he deals with, but he has grown so much as a person and he's helped me grow, and his parents love me. And
I bet there's such an incredible match. It's like the Odd Couple, right? Like you're like flashy and dripping in jewels and like the red lipstick, and he's very like
no nonsense Englishman.
He's very
frugal.
He's very comfortable. He's very calm.
Yes.
He's got he speaks slowly. He doesn't rush probably through anything, I would imagine.
He's got a PhD in theoretical physics, so I always say he's the British Sheldon.
He's the British Sheldon. He kind of looks like Sheldon too.
A little bit. So, but we absolutely from day one gave no shits about what anybody thought of our relationship. That was the one thing.
And I don't even, like, when I see you guys together, I'm not like, oh, they're 15 years apart. You don't even think about it.
No, and he has such an older person vibe. And that's the other thing, you guys. No matter what the physical age you are, whatever that number is, 60, 30, 29, whatever it is, actually has nothing to do with how you feel, what you feel your age is. Age doesn't have to have any kind of anchors that make you feel a certain way. Just enjoy who you are in all these different stages. And I don't sit here and think, well, I'm a 59-year-old, so here's the things that 59-year-old people are expected to do. I don't know what those are. I do the things I want to do. And I don't care what age.
Probably what keeps you young.
Yeah, doing what you want and being who you are has no age limit. You can do that at 90. So how society views this May, December, how they view older men and younger women, and how they view or classify that or judge it, who cares? Are you happy? That's the first question.
Yeah.
Am I happy?
Do you love them? Cool. I'm happy for you.
Happy? Is this a reason or a season? I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm happy. And that's, you have to let go of other people's opinions on it because it's not their fucking business.
Yep.
That's what I think.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. And I'm super grateful that Martha brought this up as a topic because it's something that we don't really discuss very often is those, if we discuss age differences, it's usually with an overarching judgy vibe. And we're not judgy here. That's not what we do. We're here to just have discussions. We're not like, we have our own opinions, but it's not like, we just don't judge people.
No, it's like
you're happy and it's legal, do it.
You know what? Life is much more meaningful when you stop judging and putting so many parameters. That takes a lot.
Or worrying what other people are thinking.
Yeah. So much energy goes into judging other people or feeling like you're being judged all the time. Maybe I am being judged all the time. I just stopped caring.
Yeah.
So I don't invest any of my own. It's like, that's a them problem. That's not a me.
You have the bandwidth for it.
No.
Got enough shit to worry about. I don't need to worry about what people. And by the way, for the record, Jeff is younger than me by 2 years. So he's my little
sort of got to
my little cup.
have a little bit of a cub experience.
A little bit.
But we'd love to hear about your experiences in the May-December area.
Can you explain the May-December? Like, what does that mean? Like, where does that
you look at it,
garbage come from?
May is like spring and the beginning of spring, and December is the end of the year.
May, the end of spring?
Well, it's the end of spring going into summer. So they're talking about different seasons of life. So the May-December is somebody is in the height
end of spring to end of winter. I see.
Yeah. And so one of you is on the younger end of life. You're in the spring and summer of your life. And one of you is in the winter.
I see.
So
okay.
It's just
that makes more sense. I'm trying to
an age difference. And I was
trying to unravel that in my head and like wrap my head around why it was called that. But now that makes sense.
Yeah. So if you have been involved in one, how did it go? Was it a pleasant life experience? Did you end up having a long-term relationship? But we'd love to hear about it.
We would.
So you can comment here or on any of our social medias.
We do the media things.
We do so much.
So we always end our episodes with a few rapid-fire questions for each other. We don't know what we're about to ask, and we certainly don't know what the other person's going to answer, but this is just meant to throw a little bit of levity. Is that? Yeah, just a little bit of into this podcast. So why don't you start this time?
All right. I will do that with, since we've kind of been talking about cougars, I'm going to go with, if you could be any kind of big cat, what would you be?
Ooh, a lion. Yeah, definitely a lion.
I set her up for it.
I was going to say jaguar, and then I was like, wait, a lion's a big cat. Word. Okay, yes, I would be a lion. And I am a lion.
Me too.
Rawr. Okay. If you were going away for a weekend, aside from clothing and toiletries, what is your must-have item that you pack in your carry-on?
I have to take some of the... I'm yelling again.
You yell every answer.
So sorry, I get excited. I have to take the little bottle of sleep aid. I have to, or I won't sleep. And if I forget that, it's a nightmare.
On the trip, you won't sleep?
Like for the whole vacation, however long I'm gone, every night I have to take some sleep aid.
Okay.
My brain don't shut off because of the anxiety. So and red lipstick. I need to make sure I have some red lipstick.
I love that you're like, if you're just listening, she's like writing up on the mic to answer like she's being interrogated.
Red lipstick.
Settle down, Shelly.
Okay.
Second question.
Simmer down.
Hit me.
Okay. Right now, in this moment, if you could go out for a lunch of Thai food or Italian, which would you go with?
Oh, Thai food, because I want some spicy right now.
I knew.
We went out for Indian the other night. It was we rocked the Indian.
It was yummy.
It was very good. Okay. What is your favorite way to eat ice cream? Do you prefer a sundae, a cone, a cup, a bowl, a milkshake? What's your favorite ice cream delivery system?
I like it in a bowl with a spoon, and I prefer it to have some magic shell on it that you crack through.
Magic shell. Interesting. I didn't. Do they still sell that?
I'm sure it's garbage. It's like made out of plastic.
I forgot what makes it hell.
Because I still have some at home. It's like it's got something that makes it set, some kind of wax.
Neat.
Edible wax. Oh, I'm sure it's glued all my guts together. I'm sure.
Great. That's why she looks so good.
Mm.
She's glued together with magic shell. This has been an episode of Hot Flash Chronicles. Thank you so much for listening. We would love if you'd give us a like, a follow, a subscribe. If you enjoy what you've heard from us, a 5-star review would mean the world to us. So thank you for spending your time with us, and we will see you next time. Bye. Ciao.
That's a wrap on this episode. If you laughed, related, or just need more, hit subscribe.
Check out the show notes to find us on socials and YouTube, and join our Patreon for exclusive extras.
And remember,
We're still hot, just in flashes.